Hello everyone, today we are going to give you a quick recap of SmackDown from Friday, May 3rd, 2024. But before we get started on that recap, let's chat about some recent rumors going around the wrestling circles. We are going to chat about a certain member of the Wyatt family returning to the WWE. CM Punk's WWE Backlash role is finally revealed. The WWE Chief Operating Officer is planning to leave the company after tendering his resignation. Why is Ric Flair so upset about a TV series highlighting the WCW? And Seth freaking Rollins signing a new contract with the WWE. Don't miss a minute of action and the latest news in the wrestling world. Go ahead and subscribe to get the latest news and history of professional wrestling. Let's start off first with the latest addition to the WWE roster. Last week, we talked about Braun Strowman returning to the WWE after being drafted to Monday Night Raw. But guess what? Other member of the Wyatt family has returned to the WWE. I think we all know that Bray Wyatt's passing hit the wrestling world pretty hard, especially since Bray was pretty close to getting cleared medically to enter the ring. Some fans in the WWE universe believed that Bray's real-life brother, Bo Dallas, would be the one coming back to the WWE to continue the Bray Wyatt storyline as the mysterious Uncle Howdy character. This speculation only grew after the WWE released their documentary based on Bray's life called Becoming Immortal. It grew even louder over the past few weeks as the live broadcasts of Raw and SmackDown continue to get interrupted at times with that QR code screen that looks very similar to Bray Wyatt's broadcast interruption signals. So it's possible that Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy or another character might still be in the future for the WWE. But for now, the Wyatt family member just signed by the WWE is none other than Eric Rowan. Rowan has been on the indie circuit recently and decided to withdraw from his last match a couple of weeks ago due to contractual obligations. I think we all know what that means. So with Eric Rowan back with the WWE and Braun Strowman back from injury and active on the roster, and don't forget Miss Alexa Bliss is still on standby to get back on the active roster after giving birth to her first baby, I think the Wyatt family is on their way back to our homes. While it looks like the Wyatt family members are back in the WWE, one of the top executives is on their way out of the WWE. WWE Chief Operating Officer Brad Blum is planning to leave the company after resigning at the beginning of May. Brad Blum has been with the company for almost 20 years, since 2006, when he was the chief of staff for over 10 years. Now, we all know the former CEO and chairman of the WWE, Vince McMahon, resigned from the company recently, and Brad Blum was pretty much his right-hand man, no pun intended, for years. It's no surprise that Blum would be resigning since he was named as corporate officer number 2 in the Janelle Grant lawsuit, which meant he had some knowledge of what Vince was doing with Janelle Grant in their quote-unquote relationship. Needless to say, it looks like the WWE will be hiring a new COO pretty soon. The WWE Backlash PLE is here, and CM Punk has an interesting role in the live event. This past week on Raw, CM Punk made a surprise appearance in the suite section of the arena when he was called out by Drew McIntyre. Now, the best in the world will once again be live in the arena, even though he is still not cleared to get into the ring for action. CM Punk will have a similar role that he had at WrestleMania and will hold the mic right next to Big E as part of the Backlash pre-show and post-show panel. CM Punk is the best on the mic, so it only makes sense to pair him up with another dude who is pretty good on the mic in Big E. Next up, we have Ric Flair getting a little heated with how the WCW is portrayed in the latest Vice TV show, Who Killed WCW? Ric Flair turned to social media this past week to give his thoughts, more like rants, on the WCW docu-series. He goes on to say, quote, "As usual, more but no interview with Ric Flair, who was WCW, and who made everyone there for 20 years. Run by the same people who killed the company. How embarrassing. A documentary about WCW without me." Close quote. He continued on with his post, "For all you haters, please go to 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff if you have a problem. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to watch this Who Killed WCW show, which premieres on Vice TV on Tuesday, June 4th at 10. 9 Central. Seth freaking Rollins still remains sidelined recovering from knee surgery, but apparently his hand still works. Rollins just signed a new multi-year long-term contract with the WWE that valued to be in the millions, and just before his previous contract was set to expire in June. This contract, like Drew McIntyre's contract, has set him up to be the main eventer and the face for the WWE for years to come. Congratulations, Seth. Looking forward to seeing you back in the ring. Okay, so here is the quick rundown of the SmackDown from May 3rd. Of course, this was the pre-game warm-up for the French fans, as they are all eagerly waiting for Backlash the next day in Lyon, France. The French audience was raucous and sure helped that the women's champ was first in the ring to start off the night. What an absolute electrifying atmosphere from the French crowd. Bayley's tag match with Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill as her tag partners against Tiffany Stratton and Damage Control was an absolute banger of a match and a great start on the eve of Backlash. And I gotta tell ya, is it only me that thinks that Jade Cargill is getting better and better every week? My goodness, it's kind of impressive to watch her team up with Bianca Belair. Next match of the evening was another tag team match between the New Catch Republic and the Authors of Pain from the Final Testament. But before the match, Carmelo Anthony had an interesting run-in with Bobby Lashley backstage. Needless to say, Bobby gave him some wise words of wisdom and told him to be careful who he disrespects here on SmackDown. We will see if Carmelo heeds his advice. Anyways, back to the AOP and New Catch Republic match. What an incredible match of both speed and power. Speed and acrobatics from the New Catch Republic, and awesome power from AOP. The Authors of Pain were just too much to match for Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, however, as the AOP turned out victorious tonight. After this match, Paul Heyman let a pretty interesting secret slip out when speaking with Nick Aldis. He accidentally let it slip that he hasn't talked to Roman Reigns since the night of WrestleMania. So, apparently all lines of communication are not only going through Paul Heyman, the decisions are actually being made by Paul Heyman himself, too, including Paul Heyman making the executive decision to pull Roman Reigns from the WWE draft. So who really is leading the bloodline? Let us know who you think in the comments section below. But I guess we will find out on the brand new RKO show. The Wiseman himself, Paul Heyman, was the very first guest on the RKO show. Now, this French crowd absolutely loves the WWE, especially Paul Heyman. You could hear the ECW chants echoing throughout the building. You could see the smile from Paul Heyman's face from a mile away. It really felt like the crowd was like a post-WrestleMania type of crowd. But his tone turned into concern for Randy and Kevin, pretty much begging them to back out of their match against the Bloodline. But Randy Orton asked Paul who is the tribal chief of the Bloodline, and before he could respond, the Bloodline jumped RKO and KO and mayhem ensued. It looks like this match at Backlash will be a pretty good one between the Bloodline and RKO and KO. Next match of the night was a singles match between LA Knight and Angel from Legado de Fantasma. I'm going to fast forward on this match. I know LA Knight is a crowd favorite and he performs well in the ring. But it just seems to me that LA Knight is getting lost in the mid-card shuffle. He doesn't have too much of a storyline going on right now, and tonight just proved my point. He easily pins Angel, and that was pretty much it. Oh, wait a sec. He enters himself into the King of the Ring, too, followed by some words with Santos Escobar. Still don't know where LA Knight is going, but I guess I have to be patient and see what happens. The last match of the night is the main event between the Street Profits and the WWE Tag Team Champions, A-Town Down Under. This was a great match, and A-Town Down Under retains their titles because the referee got distracted at the end of the match. You can't go wrong with these two tag teams, and it was a pretty good segue to the Backlash PLE. But the last part of SmackDown was a face-off between AJ Styles and the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. The face-off promo was pretty much overtaken by the Leon crowd. Their promo was second place compared to the crowd's energy. I think we all know how this match is going to end at Backlash anyways. I'll see you soon as we recap the Backlash PLE. See you then.